Today I will talk about introduction, which is the origin of the compound. The origin of the compound. Kawain belongs to the class of organic compound known as kavalactone. The kavapyron, or also called as kavalactone, was found in Pipermethicium, which is in kava plant. Kawain was mostly found in roots of the plant. These lactones are structurally characterized by a benzene ring and pyron moiety that are linked to each other to form 4-methoxy 2-E-2-penyl ethynyl 2,3-dihydropyron 6-1. Do you know what is the benefit of Kawain? Kawain is used for anxiety treatment, protecting neurons for damage, reducing pain sensation, and reducing the risk of cancer.
Studying the properties of kawain can help you learn more about how to use it and how it reacts. Kawain's properties are separated into two categories, which are physical properties and chemical properties. Kawain's physical properties include the fact that it exists in powder form at room temperature. The kawain is white and has a molecular weight of 230 and 26 grams per mole. Next, kawain has a high melting and boiling point with a melting temperature between 106 degrees and 110 degrees and a boiling point between 195 degrees and 197 degrees. The kawain has a low density of 1.2 plus minus 0.1 gram per centimeter cube and is very light. For the chemical properties, they set out to evaluate kawain's pharmacological properties using a combination of predictive in vitro and in vivo studies as a part of a larger assessment of this class of chemicals potential as drug discovery starting points. Solubility and cell permeability are two properties that may be assessed in vitro and are thought to be the most predictive of in vivo ADME. Kawain is highly soluble in the water, and a CO2 study showed a high level of cell permeability. This combination of characteristics suggests that this family of chemicals has a high likelihood of oral absorption, low serum protein binding, and simple preparation into experimental and clinical dose form. In addition, both in aqueous buffer and in mouse plasma, kawain show good chemical stability. Lastly, the type of compound for kawain is phenols.
And now let us move on to the biosynthesis metabolism. Kawain is known as a kavalactone, a class of lactone compounds found in the kava shrub. The biosynthesis of kawain from kava plants undergoes two pathways known as shikimic acid pathway and also polyketide pathway, with shikimic acid and acetyl coenzyme A as the building blocks respectively. So here is the shikimic acid pathway. The kava plants will undergo the photosynthesis and produce a shikimic acid as a second metabolite after primary metabolism. So bear in mind this process occurs in secondary metabolism. Then the phenylalanine from the shikimic acid will also further synthesis to become the kavalactone known as kawain from the cinnamon CoA. And for the polyketide pathway, the secondary metabolite polyketide will form the cinnamic acids. And from the cinnamic acid, an intermediate was formed to form the kawain. Without any hesitation, let us move on to the isolation method. The water extract was needed before the isolation started. So here is the process. And finally, the kavalactone was dried under the vacuum and resuspended in DMSO for cell culture tests. There are four methods can be used for isolation kawain from kavalactone. TLC will admit the fractions on the ethyl acetate to hexane in the ratio of 3 to 7 solvent as the mobile phase and TLC plate as the stationary phase. While in the column chromatography, the kava extract was separated based on its polarity with the immobile stationary phase silica gels and also mobile phase hexane to ethyl acetate in the ratio of 2 to 1. In the HPLC system, the kava extract was diluted into 50-50 organic phase and aqueous phase combinations. The solvent system of 4:1 to 3:1 ratios of the hexanes to acetone to methanol to water will be utilized to the extract all components of kavalactones. The solvent system will ascend with the organic layer as the mobile phase and the aqueous layer as the immobile phase. Lastly, the same mobile phase from HPLC will also be used in HPCPC.
Next, biological activity. Definition: biological activity is the capacity of a specific molecular entity to achieve a defined biological effect on a target. Kawain has anticonvulsant impact since it cooperates with voltage subordinates in A+ and Ca2+ channels to decrease vascular smooth muscle withdrawal. Kawain is a high-level glycation finish result inhibitor that can expand the life expectancy of canine hybrid allegiance. When they are exposed to high glucose level, it is utilized to treat stress and tension issues. The proof for the viability of kava for treating uneasiness has been asserted through clinical preliminaries and meta-examination. Late examination has additionally served to reduce well-being concern with respect to the utilization of Kava because of hepatotoxic danger, which is reflected in a new German court toppling the past Kava boycott in that country. Next is therapeutic values. Therapeutic values is the health benefits that they can generate for patients as well as for the society. Therapeutic values of Kawain. Bar or voltage-gated sodium particle channels improve ligand restricting to gamma aminobutyric corrosive salt A receptors and diminish excitatory synapse discharge because of calcium particle channel bar, diminish noradrenaline neural reuptake, reversible hydrance of monoamine oxidase B, and concealment of the eicosanoid thromboxane A2 creation, all of which decline GABA A receptors function, are all ideal to be therapeutic values of Kawain.
Synthesis started with selective reduction of R-dimethylamylate 6 to the primary alcohol, followed by the transition of the resultant carbon 6 alcohol into a TBS ether. Leftover carbon 5 alcohol disguised as TMS ether, and compound 8 was treated with titanium alkylidine reagents. The precursor 4 was synthesized by a selective 1,4 TMS group removal as lubrication of the resultant carbon 5 alkoxide. In deuterized toluene ester form was reacted with GC2, giving the required lactone 10A. Synthesis of 11 began with the monoprotected diol 7, which was transacylated into acetyls 12A and 12B through PPTS catalyzed transacylation. The acetyls 13 were oxidized with PCC to give the required lactones 10A and 10B. The carbon 2-desmethyl lactone 10A was deprotected and alcohol 14A then utilized to synthesize R-Kawain. Swern oxidation used to convert alcohol 14A to aldehyde 1A. Under sulfoxide Julia definition conditions, lactone 1A quickly reacted with benzyl phenyl sulfoxide yielding R-Kawain 2.
So here is the conclusion. Kawain, or also known as Kava, was the herbal plant found almost on the island of the Pacific Ocean. It is known as kavalactone, a class of lactone compound found in the Kava syrup. The Kava word came from the Polynesian word which is awa that means bitter. This kawain can be determined by chemical and physical properties. The biosynthesis metabolism involves the synthesis of macromolecules from specific building blocks. Shikimic acid pathway and Polyketide pathway are the biosynthesis of Kawain. In the biosynthesis metabolism, it includes isolation method, biological activity, and therapeutic value and chemical synthesis. There are 4 methods can be used to isolate the Kawain from its origin plant, which is through TLC, Thin Layer Chromatography, HPLC, High Performance Liquid Chromatography, and also High Performance Centrifugal Partition Chromatography. The side effect of a kawain is they can affect the liver injury, can cause high dopamine level, and also increase the potential to get into accident. That's all for us.